It's got almost everything off of it. I'm just gonna hit it with some of the citrus sauce. Get the rest of it off of there. I cut off all the drawer heads and put them there. I'm gonna replace those knobs and look into that lock a bit if I have time. But the idea will be that a chair will fit in there. It'll slide out, but it'll be hidden. And the top, I'm looking to put actuators inside. And take everything, just the top I guess, and make it so it flips open and doesn't come down too fast. So after I hit it with this and really clean it up, it has wheels on it already, but I'm gonna clean them up, maybe get some bigger ones on there because I have some. But I'm gonna fit some hinges to the bottom there, so that can flip up, and I'm gonna put some dowels there and there into the top of it, so when it comes down it'll sit snug and help the structure, the frame, because all these boards will be gone. Those 4. I cut one out and then forgot I should have left it so that the shelf I'm gonna put in there would have more stability, but it's actually fine. And I put some holes here because I have some of these things, I'm stripping the paint off of them. I sprayed them, but they're from a place that I took apart earlier, and I'm just gonna use them right there to help keep this angle the way it is when this is gone. Things got well sanded, and I put lots of spray paint on it, but I'm done using spray paint. Used it recently for a lot of things and realized I don't get the coverage I need, or not easily, but it still looks pretty good. Some of the white's coming through a little bit, but it looks good that way. I already did the marks for the hinges. I was trying to figure out how I should take these. I got them out of a chest or a toy box, and it kind of popped open, but not too quick. But they're really strong, so I'm not sure how to position them on there, where to put them exactly. Can't put them right here because that piece runs right in that gap. But yeah, so far so good. I don't know if I had a stool last time, but it's perfect. So on the back of the stool, we'll sit this piece at 37 3/16 to be a mount basically for these drawers that will sit on the back of the chair. They're all painted up too. It's not perfect, but it's really just for fun. So, and I'm gonna put wheels on these too. I got those fittings in to help secure the frame after I cut the front out. And I filled the bottom with some great stuff. And then I actually had to dig it out to put in those bolts, because I forgot. And then I just filled it back in, filed it down, spray painted it, yeah. I actually put some plastic dip on it. I ran into the problem of the mirror not fitting on the top here. I tried to cut it myself and failed. Did almost real good though. I almost had it, but failed. Luckily, got another one. It'll fit perfect. But also, when I pulled up these side panels that I was going to use to hold the mirror down, they had gotten wet and had some funk on them, so I sanded them up before I put them back. But I also want to put light bulbs on this those big round ones for old time vanities. So I'm gonna figure out the wiring before I put those back in there. Maybe get some 2x4s instead. Lights, they'll be cut and put around this, and I got some hinges which I ran into trouble with. I'll talk more about them. I had to grind the end off, it didn't help. I gave everything another coat, and I just went through here and I marked all of these with the pencil right there, you know. And these hinges, I had to find out how to do them on my own because I didn't know how to do them. And so it took me all day searching a bunch of stuff, but after I used practice. So if you ever put in a hinge, just practice, grab 2 other pieces and practice those out. And whenever they're dug out like that, that's a mortise, I'm thinking. So, yeah. I got it to keep a right angle, which is what I wanted it to do. That's just a practice board. Anyways, I got all the fittings in that I want, and they close right. Got the hinges where they go. I've only got 1 bolt in them because I'm going to take them out and I'm going to give this another coat, maybe sand it down in some spots. But I got my mirror in, marked it, drilled it, went and bought some these bolts. They're a bit longer, go through both, and I'll have pictures for this. Not really for this. This is what I was talking about earlier. It starts to grind into the board when it closes so far. And then it passes, and the soft close is working really well, but I'm just gonna have to cut off this corner, and it won't do that anymore. And it'll almost be done. Gonna put in some soft things here, paint that board right there. Next I'll show you where I am with the chair. Got the marks marked, and I'm thinking I'm gonna chop out the front 2 legs so it can roll in there. I hit it with putty, or with wood fill. It's got real wood chips in it, and I'll wait for it to dry, probably maybe overnight, or just come back out here later and sand it down, sand that down. It's ready to go. The mirror will be on it. After I sand them, run some paint over them just 1 more time because it's uneven in spots. Maybe sand those holes. And the seahorse fitting might be strong enough, the antique brass fitting might be strong enough on its own to hold up the doors, so I'm taking out those door stays. I don't think I'll need them. I'm gonna spray those. Those will help keep the backside, which is the outside drawer faces on it. I measured them to keep the exact distance because that widens at the base. So spray paint those, they'll be done, bolt it all together, and then all I'll have left is the lights. Just put on all the knobs and it fits in there pretty well. I wish it was a little more so concealed. There's space on the side there. It's not bad, but yeah. And the wood fill, I didn't exactly cover all of it. There's small parts here and there where like the paint didn't really help, so I'm gonna have to go grab some more paint. I've also got this glitter seal, clear seal thing, but yeah. It's not too bad right now. Ooh, ah. Yeah. So, I also got to paint those two boards that are in there holding the chair to the wall, or to the front. And then put the top on, get those lights set, and yeah. So I went and got some white spray paint, clean off that corner, but I gave it some new white because of this hole right there. I don't have any more wood filler, but it'll be alright. And I taped it off yesterday and hit it with some pink right there, so it'll help to keep its secret on first glance. But it's all painted already. I just got to be really careful with it. Put everything back on. I had to chop off the top here. It was just a bit too tall for the mirror to sit on the lid. When it came down, it was hitting it, so chopped that off, painted it, and now I'm actually gonna just put some wheels. I was gonna put them on the back, so this is the back, so it would work like a dolly, but now I'm thinking in the front's better, so that you can just push it in, lift up on the back a bit and push it in. I messed up when I cut these two front legs. I'm gonna throw some wheels on them, and I cut them straight across, so the angles on the back inside were even, but the front inside needed to be lower, and I didn't figure it in. It was a bit, I mean, it seemed a bit more complicated, but that's basically what it needs to do. It needs to start low on the inside back and move higher out here, and this one and the front inner corner are supposed to be even, and that'll be the highest point there, which is, it's almost, I think I just got to shave down that inside front on both of them to make the wheel sit flat, because if you notice right now, it's slightly crooked, so they wouldn't be sitting flat. But if I shave that down, I think it'll fit. You can barely tell, I guess, from what they were before. I can see a difference. Now they're sitting straight up and down instead of curved out that way too much. And I was kind of just using my Nickerson eye. Guesstimating, but I think it'll be fine. And this will support it just a bit better. And then I bent the front of those other ones around because they're just a bit too long, and I didn't realize that, but they'll work. And then I just got to fit the lights to this real quick. Putting on these LED strips, and I thought I was gonna have to buy these 90-degree angle connections that everybody's trying to sell for people like me trying to make these vanity mirrors. They're relatively cheap. They're only like $3 a piece, unless you've got the 4-way connection with different lights. Then they're like $11 for 4 of them or something, which is, I guess, the same thing. I don't know. Some of them were a bit more expensive. Anyways, rather than go out and spend $2, $4, $6, $8, because I'm going to turn these corners twice, you know, $20 or whatever, I found out with one video, 30-second video, that you bend them 90 degrees opposite the corner you want to turn and then fold them over themselves. But I think you want to make sure you only do it once, because they're basically a thin copper strip. And yeah, so I made that work without having to buy those. That's nice. And then I also threw in that closer to keep the lid fastened down. This side's actually a little lower. This is sanded down a little further than that one. I had some overspray down here from when I put the white on. You can see the bits left right there, but the lights are going to cover it, so I wasn't too worried. But it used to have a U shape right there that connected those two, and it came off. Well, I watched this video the other day about white and apple cider vinegar. And apple cider vinegar, a lot of people think, is actually better at cleaning things, and it's safer for you. But that mixed with a little bit of baking soda seemed to get it right off. It's pretty cool. I know that heat will do it too, but I didn't want to hit the lights or the other paint. It turns out bending them isn't as simple as bending them. You have to be extremely careful with them. I would have doubled them up, but as I tried to, the circuits started to snap. They're super thin. So Not bad. Pretty dope. Got dimmer. Ooh. Ah. Fresh. If you can see that there. I had to unbend them so they look, I mean, they don't look god awful, but I think it doesn't look very good. Not very proud of that. But so if you've got more time, go ahead and solder them on the cut points here and here. Where is it? There it is. I would just solder them together. Next time if I have to do it again, that's what I do. But other than that, the rest of it came together pretty well. From what it was, it looks pretty snazzy. I tried to paint all the screws, but I kept having to undo it. But it's really just for fun. The girl it's for isn't like putting on hella makeup right now, seriously, but I'm sure she'd like to play around. It's pretty juvenile, I guess. But in a couple years, you could upgrade it and put hair dryer stuff, blow dryer stuff, curling iron. Have the time to put some real lights on there. I had sockets, and I was gonna solder it all together. Right now, I'm 3 weeks and 3 days behind Christmas, so